tolerate it, wouldn't put up with it. But this nonsense about the BDS movement in universities making Jewish students feel vulnerable, what's a load of crap. Provide some evidence and we'll have a look at it. Don't be making blanket statements like that that are completely untrue. Now, to Ken O'Keefe. I was informed yesterday by a friend of the programme, somebody who's incredibly reliable and whose integrity is unimpeachable, that Ken O'Keefe was in Soho in London, not yesterday but Tuesday. He turned up to some event and he began asking people there for money for his fraudulent pyramid scheme, the One World Citizen Initiative, which is a fraudulent pyramid scheme. I want to tell you a couple of things very briefly. 18 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, O'Keefe put together an elaborate video production and an elaborate website saying that he wanted people to donate even, say it right Rich, to donate to this One World Citizen scheme, that he was going to provide the legal means with which one could exempt oneself from paying taxes which were used to fund wars. He had a strategy, he said. His initial campaign message was bizarre and in fact it was totally fucking ridiculous. I can't reveal the strategy because I have a lot of enemies and they might try and take it down and take me down. I'm under attack all the time. So donate to me now. I won't reveal the strategy though. He got about $120,000. What was really important to the story was the entire team, the mission team, the entire team, including Max Egan, walked away from him, sent him a series of emails labelling him a fraud, saying that he was misappropriating the money or that he was lying to people or that he was misleading people, a number of different emails. They walked away. Now Ken is a lawyer and he went public and said that he fired these people for subversion because his enemies are after him, and he puts up with this all the time. Ken is one of the great narcissists of the world. Great narcissist, great illusion, a great delusional character is our Ken. Delusional about his own place in the world and his own importance to peace and justice. Complete liar. It was proven very quickly he didn't fire anybody. They walked away from him. Massive lie. Max Egan came on this programme, said it was a pyramid scheme. I put the devil's advocate questions to Max. I asked him could he have gotten it wrong, did he need to give Ken more of a chance to explain it, had he misread what was going on. Max said absolutely no, it was a pyramid scheme, it was a fraud. Now O'Keefe came on with me in September last year and made a complete fool of himself, sounded drunk or intoxicated on some substance or other, actually screamed his way through the interview, called me and everybody else idiots, questioned my intelligence and integrity, questioned my intelligence. The irony of Ken O'Keefe questioning my intellectual capacity. I'm not even going to go there. O'Keefe has not spoken about this in over 6 months. He's revealed nothing to nobody. He has refused to answer direct questions issued to him through email and through social media by people who donated to him, people asking for their money back or for an explanation as to what's going on. He's been ensconced on Dominica with his girlfriend. O'Keefe was married and I believe he had a couple of children.
Hi. Well, you've heard the latest from Richie Allen on Ken O'Keefe. First of all, as I showed you the links there, you know, pots calling kettles black, as it were. And here we go. So Richie Allen would like you to send him some money for the fact that he's talked to you about the truth. Okay, so the truth as he is permitted to share it. Okay, and as you can see, his show is funded by David Icke. Okay, it's David Icke. That's who he works for. Live on davidicke.com. Okay, he works with him, and this is David Icke. Okay, This is David Icke. You know, £14, all the books that I showed through the link. Books telling people about what. Now, I noticed here, there's a book called, is it called Get Off Your Knees or something? The Reptilian Agenda. I don't know which one it's on. You know, I thought it was on the first page. That's it. Get Off Your Knees. Okay. So, you know, I would like to ask you, David Icke and Richie Allen, how the human race is supposed to get off our knees when a human being has a profound universal experience of light being and a message of universal law, and she contacts everybody, and she contacts David Icke himself, who writes books telling humanity to get up off our knees, a CSA survivor who's suffered absolute persecution in this world up to this very day, okay, writes to you asking for help, contacts you, Richie Allen, to ask for help, to share the message, to give hope to humanity, to tell them the truth about their true soul, their living light being, and their rights as a human being and as a universal citizen of planet Earth, okay, and as a person who fully supports Ken O'Keefe in what he's trying to do, and I fully understand why he can't reveal his plan, and that's why the controlled opposition, as I now think you are part of, Richie Allen and David Icke, unless you can convince me otherwise, okay, unless you can convince me otherwise, I now feel you are part of a controlled opposition that basically commodifies the truth and turns it into a little money-making scheme for you two. Oh, it's all right for you two, isn't it, to sit there to write books about the horrors of this world and to make huge profits on it. And you know, you talk about Ken O'Keefe being a narcissist. Well, as far as last time I checked, Ken O'Keefe hasn't got his own radio show asking people to pay him money just for the fact that he gets on and invites the sufferers to come and talk on his show about the terrible child abuse, satanic abuse they've suffered, and for him to get huge audiences. You know, it's all right for you know, David Icke to be writing books about the horrors of what's going on in the world, like the global conspiracy. It's all right for him to get, you know, 17 quid a shot every time somebody decides to learn about what's going on. And then at the end of it, what have they got? They're on their own, they've got a book. Oh, and they can go and listen to Richie Allen. So what is Richie Allen doing? What are you doing, David Icke? About, you know, the only thing I've witnessed you advising people to do is vote Brexit. And not even mentioning, you've not said a single word about the fact that this government's going to remove British people's human rights, okay? And neither of you, Richie Allen. And yet both of you are now, not only have you both conspired to protect a paedophile, a lawfully suspected paedophile, if not paedophile complicit, which, you know, it's the same thing, whether you know it's happening and you turn a blind eye to it because you're earning a wage from it, or you directly participate in it. There's no difference between the two. So a lawfully suspected paedophile that, you know, Ken O'Keefe rightfully started asking questions about because he directly involved himself in what Ken was trying to do, along with one of his best friends. And so, you know, and yes, Ken O'Keefe is under attack on all sides. Obviously, David Icke should know it, shouldn't he? Shouldn't he know the global conspiracy? So what is the global conspiracy going to do then? When somebody like Ken O'Keefe, with a big following, really credible guy, genuine person, puts his actions where his mouth is, okay? When he comes along and announces that he's going to try and do something legal, set up a legal framework so people can opt out of paying into this, have another choice to opt out of this corporate criminal cabal, okay? And so, yeah, naturally, he's not going to give his strategy, is he? Why should he? Why should he give his... Why should he tell them what he's going to do? Do they tell us what they're going to do? Do they tell us? No, they don't. We hear about it through leaks. And then, you know, that all just gives a chance for somebody like David Icke to write a book about or sell a fucking t-shirt on, innit? You know, but nobody's telling the people, and those that are telling the people are doing it on from their ego trips. Because who is the real narcissist? Richie Allen. Who is the real narcissist here? Who thinks that he's somebody because, you know, he spouts the truth, he does a radio show talking about the truth, and yet one person who is trying to do something is saying, you've got to show the enemy your battle plan. You've got to make your battle plan public. What? Against an enemy that hasn't made its battle plan public? That we, the people, and people like Ken, have had to fathom for ourselves, and because we're vigilant and aware and we care about humanity and we care about our planet. So you know, we don't rely on you to bring us the news. We find it out for ourselves, and what we find is alarming. And yes, we do need direct action, and people do need a choice, and they do need an option, and they do need to understand the truth. And there are people out there who are genuinely sharing the truth, who aren't asking for money, who write, who don't sell the truth. And it is true that we need money to get a legal thing, to get things done. And that is the unfortunate irony of it. But at the end of the day, all the money that the bankers have got is a theft from the life of this planet. And now we have a lawful right to receive God's half of the money, because we're supposed to be living in a Christian society, aren't we? And according to Jesus, one half of the money belongs to God, to Jah, to the universe. And what does Jah need money for, except to make life happier and better on this planet, and to establish the law? So, you know, yeah, I would say the more money you've got to spare in this world, the more money you should be giving to Ken O'Keefe if you want to save your planet. And I think it is the fact that Ken O'Keefe is so trusted, and he is absolutely in the right on what he's done. He's not put a foot wrong. He's absolutely right to express the concerns he did about Zen Gardner. He's absolutely right to then question Max Eigen's loyalty to him suddenly, and then all the slanders that's come out against him after that. It is very, very disturbing, and actually it's typical. It's typical in this world that you will find wherever people have got together and they're trying to do something, those teams will be infiltrated. They will be infiltrated. Of course they will. And yet you're trying to say that Ken O'Keefe is, you know, suffering from paranoia because he's under attack. Well, obviously, then what's David Icke writing about then? What's this? Paranoia? Is it paranoia? Children of the Matrix, isn't that a book about paranoia then? Infinite love is the only truth. Everything else is an illusion. Well, you know, one of the ways of establishing infinite love, David Icke, is by establishing universal law of abundance in compassion, which I've been writing to you about, and I've asked you to help share. But no, you'd rather talk to people about lizards, wouldn't you? And satanic abuse. You know, I cover satanic abuse, stroke, sadistic abuse, by way of trying to get changes in the law, not to sell a book or a fucking radio show, okay? I get my head down, I do the research, and I write the reports, and I send it to the government and to the authorities, requesting that we have child protection directives implemented, please. If I talk about child abuse, I always mention the absolute only solution, full child protection directives. And that's why I do stand with Ken O'Keefe, because he is trying to do something, and no, he isn't going to release his plan before it is done. And that's faith, you see. If people have faith in somebody to try and do something, and if it proves that my faith is misplaced, that is nothing against me, because I have not seen any shred of evidence to support anything that you said against Ken O'Keefe, but I've seen a lot of any evidence to support my lawful suspicions about you, Richie Allen, David Icke, Max Igan and Zen Gardner. There's a lot of evidence there that makes me question what your motives are. What are you really about? Apart from selling the truth. And most of it, shit. A cup of filth, basically, that does what for people? What does it do for people to know if they've got nowhere to go with it? If there's nothing they can do? You know, how are we supposed to get up off our knees, David Icke, when the ordinary public, okay, when we've got something to share, when we've got some intelligence to share, oh no, go away, we don't want to talk to you. Unless you can, you know, give us a scoop. Were you abused by a top politician? Oh, then you can come on my show. Have you had your children snatched off you? Then you can come on my show. You know, you know, what are any of you doing actually, actively, to change things? Actively, why aren't all four of you actively promoting children's rights to justice? You know, because like I say, you make your shows because it's all narcissism, okay? Narcissism is not going to save our planet, okay? Narcissism is not going to rescue humanity from the corporate monster that is waiting to eat our child, okay, and our planet. A load of books telling people about secrets and shit, okay, is not going to help people to find a solution, to get with a solution. And the one solution that's out there, the one person that's trying to do something to present a solution, you've all conspired to knock down and had infiltrated. And oh, horror of horror, he's refused to turn a blind eye to a lawfully suspected paedophile in your circles, and who is promoting himself as a shining light of the truth movement. Well, you know, all you so-called truthers, okay, the wheat from the chaff will be sorted, and who's who will be finally understood by people. And in your judgments against Ken, you've all judged yourself, okay, because Ken O'Keefe did not judge any of you. He just expressed his concerns about a lawfully suspected paedophile or paedophile complicit, which, as I say, is the same things. And then you've attacked him, and now you have attacked him again, Richie Allen. So, as I say, yeah, I'm nobody. I'm just nobody, a little nothing, Okay, I make videos, I share myself freely and openly and honestly to show, so people can understand that this is a real human being. You don't need to be some narcissistic twat. Okay, you are allowed to express your feelings. You are allowed to care. You're allowed to be normal. You don't have to be this middle class construct. The universe still loves you. So what? You've been driven to swearing. You're so upset you're saying the word fuck because you've been fucked by fuckers. And the universe still loves you. The universe don't judge. The universe knows that that's a cry of pain. The universe knows that people try to do what they can, and in this world there's a maligned consciousness at work, and it all revolves around money and profits and narcissism. Okay, and I know for a fact that Ken O'Keefe, he's not doing what he's doing, and he did not get up and speak out as firmly and consistently as he has because he's a fucking narcissist. Okay. Like all of us who understand the truth, you know, the first thing we understand is that yes, we have committed crimes by living in this world. Just by living and surviving in this world, we've been forced to commit crimes. We've been forced to be a slave to madness. And the universal love forgives us. We don't operate on a guilty conscience. Because, you know, we have a conscience because we love. And the universe supports everybody who loves. And it doesn't matter how rich or poor they are, how educated, so-called in this world they are, okay, where they're from. If they understand and they've got a feeling in their heart, they will find love and forgiveness of this universe, and they will align with universal law, and universal law will provide Ken O'Keefe with a choice for people to make that choice, and it will be a choice of accepting the fact, the scientifically proven fact, that we do have a quantum energy light being soul, okay, that is eternal, and there is a quantum dimension of paradise, and that there is a universe within our own mind, the quantum universe. Yeah, get your heads around that, but no, because you're all still stuck, you know, talking about pissing lizards, aren't you? And that's where you want to keep the conversation, you want to keep it in the filth. And yes, I will address the filth, but only because I'm forced to, because people are so embedded in it, and I'm trying to shine a light there to say, look, step out of the filth. But will David Icke help me to shine that light? No, no, no. Am I a narcissist? You can all fuck off, you know. And as I say, you will go down. You will either eat humble pie and say that you're sorry and help us, help humanity get up off our knees truly by dropping your evil judgments and apologising. Because I tell you now, that's where your strength will come. There's strength in humble pie. There's a new life when you lose the old one. But no, you all want to cling to your lives, don't you? Because where would you be? Where would David Icke be if this world did change? Would he be able to make a living selling his books about shite? No. Because that's your glory's over then, isn't it? When the common man in the street doesn't need to tune in for an hour or so to listen to something about satanic abuse and then get up and go to work and the day's normal as before. You know, and I do question, are you really helping people by sharing all this shit but not giving them any way out of it whatsoever, not giving them any hope at all? You know, as far as I'm concerned, how many people could you have driven to suicide or forced into depression. You just don't know, you know. I'm not saying you have, but what I'm saying is when people start picking up on the kind of stuff that David Icke's writing about constantly, and the kind of stuff you have on your show, and there's no valid solution presented, and we're being told, so, you know, we've got to stop them, and you're saying how you don't buy hummus because it is from Israel, you know. Oh wow, what a sacrifice you've made. Why don't you try being vegan for 25 years in this world, wheat-free vegan? Why don't you try giving up all colonial produce for 5 years? And not have your own radio show as well, to be telling everybody what a wonderful person you are, because, you know, you've given up all colonial produce. The staple of tea, coffee, sugar, chocolate, wheat. And even tobacco, you know. But, oh no, people only do those things because it's an ego trip, isn't it? It's because they're narcissists. Because they want to say, you know, they want to be somebody. It isn't because they want everybody to be somebody, is it? And that's what I mean about you and David Icke and a lot of others. You know, it's like only you're allowed to be heard. Only you're allowed to get credit. Because the credit is just for you, isn't it? Who is the credit for? What is the point of having personal credit if it does not credit everybody? If that's not a credit to everybody. And that's what the total thing that's wrong with this world is, that everywhere you go, you've got your little princes stood up there, haven't you? Shine the light on me, you know, and it's all about you. Let's give you some money, Richie Allen. Let's pay you for giving us a load of shite and distracting us and protecting a lawfully suspected paedophile complicit. Okay? Let's give money to David Icke so he can write some more books about shite. You know, what kind of a t-shirt is that? If you're easily offended, now would be a good time to fuck off. You know, what does that mean? Because who is not offended in this world at the moment? We will be deceived no more. Well, he is deceiving us and you are as well, exactly by your presentation of the truth and the fact that you're not just coming to us as free human beings like myself and a lot of people who make videos on YouTube, don't ask for any money. I'm not knocking the people that do. You know, I know people need to live in this world, but at the same time, you know, they're not earning the kind of money that you and David Icke are earning. And, you know, they are struggling. Personally, because of my experiences, you know, I could just never ask for money or even a subscription, because at the end of the day, you know, universal law and universal love is not for sale, okay? And I do say to everybody, check out Ken O'Keefe and, you know, support him if you're a legal person, if you've got the kind of resources and money that could help him genuinely set something up, you know, do that, because I know that there's a lot of genuinely decent people in all spheres of life, rich or poor, you know, and the richer you are, the more responsibility you have towards supporting solutions like Ken O'Keefe is trying to do. And, you know, I do hope that I have faith that we can set something, that we can establish something, and that people will be enthused by it, and people will pick up on the real truth of who they really are as a human being. And like universal law, humanity shall not be for sale.